Hello everybody, and welcome to the Echoes of Light and Night. My name is Joshua, and I will be your host for this little YouTube channel. I will be reading books, stories, some of which I myself have written. I'll be reading things from the Bible and other spiritual things of that nature. I will be reading whatever. Perhaps I will even do some devotions and prayers. This is just a little thing for me to share some of my interests, namely reading and Christianity, the Christian faith. But that's just a little brief introduction to this channel, since this is the very first video. Now, today we are going to be reading The Troop, Chapter 1. But before we get into that, allow me to have a disclaimer. This book is very, very graphic. It is very unnerving. There is swearing, and since swearing is brought up, allow me to go over that. I do not have a problem with swearing, and I will be swearing. I do not personally agree with everything that is said, but I will be reading the books as they are written. With that said, there are exceptions. I will not read slurs. Let us go with the most well-known slur of the N-word. I will reference it just as I have done right there, by referring to it as the N-word, and we will move on. Same with any homophobic slurs, same with any transphobic slurs, same with any other racist slurs. I will not be reading them. For example, the F slur for homosexual people, I will say the F slur for homosexual people. For the N-word, I will say the N-word. For the C slur for Asian people, I will say the C word for Asian people, and things of that nature. I will not be saying the F word or the C word, because those are just a bit too intense for me to say and feel comfortable with saying. Anything less than that, and I will say it. But, with that said, let us get in to Mickey Cutter's The Troop. Part 1. The Hungry Man. Headline from the Weird News Network Online Edition, October 19th. The Hungry Man of Prince County, by Huntington Mulvaney. Fearsome news, dear readers, from one of our loneliest outposts, the tiny fishing community of Lower Montague, Prince Edward Island, a forlorn, foreboding spike of rock projecting into the Atlantic Ocean. The perfect location for devilry, methinks. Thankfully for you all, we have eyes and ears everywhere. We see all. We hear all. Sadie Adkins, waitress at the Diplomat Diner in Lower Montague, had her late-model Chevrolet truck stolen from the restaurant lot last night by an unnaturally emaciated thief. Adkins placed a call to our toll-free tip line after her entreaties to local deputy dogs were cruelly and maliciously rebuffed, deemed, and we quote, ludicrous and insane. I know who stole my damn truck, Adkins told us. Starvin' Marvin. An unidentified male with close-cropped hair and baggy clothing entered the Diplomat at 9 p.m. According to Adkins, the man was in a severe state of malnourishment. Skinny? You wouldn't believe, Adkins told our intrepid truth-gatherers. Never in my life have I seen a man so wasted away, but hungry. Adkins reports that the unidentified male consumed 5 Hungry Man breakfast platters, each consisting of 4 eggs, 3 buttermilk pancakes, 5 rashers of bacon, sausage links, and toast. He ate us out of eggs, Adkins said. Just kept shoveling it in and asking for more. His belly must have swelled up tight as a drum. When I came back with his 3rd platter, or maybe it was his 4th, I caught him eating the napkins, ripping them out of the dispenser, chewing and swallowing them. The unidentified man paid his bill and left. Shortly thereafter, Adkins went outside to find her truck stolen. Yet another malicious indignity. I can't say I was too surprised, she said. The man seemed desperate in every way a man can possibly be desperate. She fell silent again before adding one final grisly detail. I could hear something coming from inside him. I'm saying under his skin. I know that sounds silly. The unidentified man remains at large. Who is he? Where did he come from? The people who know, and longtime readers know who we're talking about. The government, the Secret Service, the Templars, the Illuminati, the usual shady suspects, aren't forthcoming with info, but we're beating the bushes and scouring secret files, investigating every legitimate tip that arrives at our tip line. Something evil is afoot in sleepy Prince County. No man can be that hungry. If you liked this article, you may also enjoy Cheeseburger Kills Space Alien, Beelzebub captured by GIs in Iraq, Hellspawn Baby runs amok in Tupelo, El Chupacabra drains toddler's blood in public park. Chapter 1. Eat, 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 eat. The boat skipped over the waves, the drone of its motor trailing across the Gulf of St. Lawrence. The moon was a bone fishhook in the clear October sky. The man was wet from the spray that kicked over the gunwale. The outline of his body was visible under his drenched clothes. He easily could have been mistaken for a scarecrow left carelessly unattended in a farmer's field, stuffing torn out by scavenging animals. He'd stolen the boat from a dock at North Point at the farthest tip of Prince Edward Island, reaching the dock in a truck he'd hot-wired in a diner parking lot. Christ, he was hungry. He'd eaten so much at that roadside diner that he'd ruptured his stomach lining. The contents of his guts were right now leaking through the split tissue into the crevices between his organs. He wasn't aware of that fact, though, and wouldn't care anyway in his current state. It had felt so good to fill the empty space inside of him, but it was like dumping dirt down a bottomless hole. You could throw shovelful after shovelful, yet it made not the slightest difference. 50 miles back, he'd stopped at the side of the road, having spotted a raccoon carcass in the ditch, torn open, spine gleaming through its fur. It had taken great effort to not jam the transmission collar into park, go crawling into the ditch, and he hadn't done that. He was still human, after all. The hunger pangs would stop, he assured himself. His stomach could only hold so much. Wasn't that like a scientific fact? But this was unlike anything he'd ever known. Images zipped through his head, slideshow style. His favorite foods, lovingly presented, glistening and overplumped and too perfect, ripped from the glossy pages of Bon Appetit. A leering parody of food, freakishly sexual, hyper-stylized and lewd. He saw cherries spilling from a wedge of flaky pie, each one nursed to a giddy plumpness, looking like a mess of avulsed, bloodshot eyeballs, dolloped with a towering cone of whipped cream. Flash! A porterhouse thick as a dictionary, shank bone blinking from fat marbled meat charred to crackly doneness. A pat of herbed butter melted over top. The meat almost sighs as the knife hacks through it. Cooked flesh parting with the deference of smoothly oiled doors. Flash, flash, flash. What wouldn't he eat now? He yearned for that raccoon. If it were here now, he'd rip to the hardened rags of sinew off its tattered fur. He'd crush its skull and sift through the splinters for its brain, which would be as delicious as the nut meat of a walnut. Why hadn't he just eaten the effing thing? Would they come for him? He figured so. He was their failure, a human blooper reel, but also the keeper of their secret, and he was so toxic. At least that's what he overheard them say. He hadn't wished to hurt anyone. The possibility that he may already have done so left him heartsick. What was it that Edgerton had said? If this gets out, it'll make Typhoid Mary look like Mary Poppins. He was not an evil man. He'd simply been trapped and had done what any man in his position might do. He'd run. And they were coming for him. Would they try to capture him, return him to Edgerton? He wondered if they'd dare do that now. He wasn't going back. He'd hide and stay hidden. He doubled over, nearly spilling over the side, hunger pangs gnawing into his gut. He blinked stinging tears out of his eyes and saw a dot of light dancing on the horizon. An island? A fire? And that is chapter 1 of Nick Cutter's The Troop. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. As I said, I will be doing a variety of content, and hopefully I will create something that you find interesting, no matter who you are, no matter what you are into. But with that said, I will see all of y'all in the next video, whatever that next video will be for all of you. Goodbye.